Welcome. I'm Steve, a Mr. House and Tasker user, and this is the second in the set of instructional videos on how to implement this code for Mr. House and Tasker, and today we'll be covering steps 4 through 6. 4 and 5, we're just installing applications on the test phone that we have here. AutoVoice is optional, and 6 will be importing the project file. So where we left off, we were testing Tasker link. We had an error here. We also added the Tasker user's MHT file, but we didn't reload Mr. House, and we didn't get rid of this error message here. So let's go ahead and do that. I've stopped Mr. House. We'll start it, and when we reload, we now see more information here. What I want to do first is enable debug and Tasker show help. So we'll go to the mhprivate ini file in the code editor. And I had these in here before, so I'll just Control-C to undo and save the file. And again, we'll restart Mr. House. And now we're getting information in debug in the console, which is tailing the log file. So we have the user, John Doe, one user with one device, and the different placeholders for the keys. And if we head back over to the web browser and reload, now we're getting more information. And it's actually performing a test here by doing an API call. And we're getting QR codes for various things that we need to do. Now let's actually start task number 4. And that is to install Tasker and AutoRemote. So I'll switch over to the phone, and I'm going to open up Firefox. I'll click on the address bar at the bottom and click Scan while I'm pointing this phone to the screen to scan the QR code that says Open on your phone. And it will allow Firefox to open it, and you can see the page opened up on my phone. So let's click on that QR code. We could just as well have scanned that, and that link would bring us over to Google Play. Let's click on the first one under steps 4 and 5, which is called Tasker. I've already purchased this, so when I click on it, it gives me the option to install. All right, so I'll let that install, and we'll move on to the next step. All right, Tasker is finished installing, so we'll click Open. And we check off, get the check mark for the disclaimer, and stop reminding, and Tasker's battery optimized. We can disable battery optimization and so forth. I recommend that you go through most of this. I'm going to click Stop Reminding for the purposes of this video, and OK. We get a useless notification, literally called useless. So click on that and tap to disable. Back out again. Reopen Tasker. Stop reminding and exit again. We'll head right back out to Firefox. And the next step is to install AutoRemote. So we'll click on that QR code, which is also linkable. And this happens to open Google Play Store in Firefox. It's kind of strange, but for some reason that was not caught by Google Play on this phone. So click the 3 dots and open an app, and then click Install. Once AutoRemote is finished installing, you can click Open and allow access. Name this, I'm just going to call it My Phone. AutoRemote has a lot of other features and capabilities, linking different devices together on one profile. I'm not using those, so you might want to, if you're using it for other purposes, name these more descriptively so you can recognize the devices on your account. And we will hit cancel to not view this video. And this is the URL that we will need in a few minutes. For now, we'll exit and exit again, and back button to come back to the Mr. House URL. AutoVoice is step 5. I recommend that you install that. That will allow you to speak to the phone, and then Google will interpret your voice, sending the text back to you, and that text will be processed by the Tasker project and sent over to Mr. House for processing the voice command. So let's go ahead and click on AutoVoice and install that as well. And the installation is complete. So we'll click Open and allow the permissions. And you'll notice we also had a notification here, AutoVoice is not working with Google Assistant. We can dismiss that. Hopefully that'll be resolved by the time you're watching this video, and well, if you care about that feature anyway. So we can click the back button. And I don't care about running in the background for the moment, so we'll cancel that. And then head back to the Mr. House URL. And now we're on to step number 6, which is importing the Tasker project file. So how do we do that? Well, let's scroll down on this page, and we'll see the Tasker project file QR code there. We can click on that, tap on it, open in Firefox, and download. That file is downloaded. It won't open. It's just an XML file. It won't know what to do with it. So now we can exit. And now let's open Tasker. We can tell it to stop reminding for now. You may want to go through the battery optimization. Ignore the little screen anomaly from the remote control of this phone. In order to import the profile, in the lower left-hand corner, we'll long tap on the home icon and choose Import Project. Allow Tasker to browse files. And we'll use the up arrow to go find the download folder, and then choose MH110. That's the current version as of the recording of this video. And we'll click OK on this warning. And we'll see the different profiles, tasks, scenes, and variables. And we'll notice the Mr. House var API key and the MH var API URL are currently blank. We will be sending that over from Mr. House shortly. Let's click the check mark at the top and go ahead and approve the permissions that this needs. And this is a good time to point out the MH charging info opt-in and MH location opt-in. We may want to put a 1 in here to opt ourselves into sending information about this phone location and charging info over to the Mr. House instance. You can do that if you wish, or skip that. We have concluded step 6, and we will move on to video number 3, resuming with step 7. At this point, we have the phone and Mr. House set up, but they're not communicating yet. And that will be the next section. For now, thanks for watching.